Well, welcome to our weekly webinar. This is Patrick at Qdabra, and today I'm happy to announce that we have Mel Balsamo here to do our weekly webinar. This is a short 20-minute webinar. We've got a bunch of demos for you, and this is our second in our 10-part series of After InfoPath, bringing you relevant topics, possible migration paths, and at Qdabra, our goal here is to be impartial advocates for your form future. So without any further ado, I'd like to introduce Mel Balsamo.
Thanks, Patrick. Hello, everyone. This is Mel Balsamo, and I'll be your presenter for today's webinar. This is day 2 of 10 in the After InfoPath series, and today we'll be talking about converting your forms into mobile forms. So it's take 2 in a 10-part series. Today we'll be showing a bunch of demos. We'll be showing you mobile forms in action and a couple of recommendations of what the steps to take, what steps to take, and if time allows, we can show you paging in your forms too. Let's see, my machine is trying to adjust to my resolution here. Hopefully I can share out the next slide. Okay. All right now, so this slide is familiar to you. You know the answer to that question. The reason why you're here in the first place is you love InfoPath. So I'm not going to go into details on that. You can look at this slide up when we send out our package today, all right? Sad to say we have to bid goodbye to InfoPath. And when is that going to happen? We told you that InfoPath might go away in the next 10 years. These were our guesstimates, and we just basically came up with this just to help you plan for the future, right? Give you some options, special migration options there. And apparently behind those dark clouds there is a silver lining. So good news is that InfoPath is still here. We can still use it in the next 10 years at least. And there are options how you can migrate your data, to other solutions. We have a couple apps out there that exist today. There's Formotus, which is what we're going to talk about today. So you can convert your forms into mobile forms, especially people these days are using mobile forms. There are also Nintex and K2, Adobe, and a lot of other stuff. And of course, yours truly, Qdabra. Yeah, so why are we even interested in the series, the After InfoPath series? Because we want to be able to know our migration paths, know where to go after, right? What's going to happen to our existing data today? And that remains as a question behind that mountain. And so last week, Jimmy, one of our MVPs, showed you how to convert to SharePoint lists. That was take 1 in the series, and he discussed the pros. It's out of the box, although some cons there. The UI is not integrated, and a bunch of others. Cost to migrate, of course, everyone, you need to do something, right, to map your data, build web pages, right? Probably not write code because we are providing this using Qrules, right? But just a little work involved there. But tell you what, it is zero cost to maintain, because after you've done all the work, you don't have to worry afterwards. The submitting to list is going to do its own thing. We do recommend this approach, this method, especially if you're just dealing with small forms with less than 40 fields, probably one or two or even more, maybe until 5 repeating sections, depending on the data. We do recommend this. And how can we help? Like I mentioned, we provide the Convert to SharePoint List tool. It is going to be your tool to create all the mappings, and it is free. It's available today. And so today, take two, we are going to talk about Formotus. What is Formotus? It is one of the leading mobile app solution today, right? And the pros there is it allows you, since people are going to be in their mobile forms, it allows offline caching. You know, you download the form once when you're connected to the web and go out and about, and you can still, people can still fill out their forms, right? And Formotus does support rich controls like the camera capture. You can use the phone's camera, your mobile device's camera to capture images. Also sign into, you know, documents or images, receipts and whatnot via the annotation controls. They do offer a bunch of rich controls, and we're going to show those to you in a while. Some cons, of course, some form features may not be supported. They do have plans of, you know, expanding their feature set currently. Based from my testing, I've experienced not being able to add secondary data sources like XML data sources or web services for that matter, but it does support email submit, what else, repeating data, and like I said, I will show you that to you in a while here. So we're guessing it's going to cost about $500 to $1,000 depending on size, and that's per form. So if you have a very big form, you know, the bigger the form, the higher it gets to migrate. But the cost to maintain is per user. That's the Formotus license currently. It's $25 to $40 per user per month. We do recommend Formotus. Formotus is our partner, especially if you have mobile users for your solutions. Formotus is what you want. And yeah, we can help you because we are a partner and we are a reseller. We can probably give you, I don't know, discounts. Who knows? But we can help you like migrate your forms. We can build the solutions for you. Costs lesser probably. And without further ado, I would like to switch on to my demos. I will be showing you how Formotus works with Windows 8.1, which just recently got shipped. Although it's a beta version, it's already available in Windows 8.1. And I'll also be showing, if time allows, how it works in my iPhone. All right, let me share out here. So this is the admin, or let's say the control panel of Formotus. Right now we're viewing forms, and here are the forms that are currently available. I can deploy stuff, and I'm not going to go into so much detail on that. Instead, I'll show the app engine. So I just went to my apps there, and here's Formotus. I've installed this. Now it's showing me all the available forms that we have deployed. I want to start showing you our Forms Quo expense report. And I did have a draft here that I can just open. I filled it in with some data. Not sure why it's not showing up. It's usually really quick. So there you go. Okay, so this is the initial view. Again, this is a Windows 8.1 laptop you're looking at right now. We designed this expense report form using tabs. And let's see, so this should give you an idea of what's currently supported, right? Like the dates here, the date picker has a different interface than the usual InfoPath one. So we can like select a date there and set it. All right, or you can just set current date and it will do its own thing. And fill it out. I've filled out stuff in here. So mail to, if I click submit here, it's going to send an email, which I'll do later on. Let's go to the expense tab. This is a repeating group, and as you can see, I clicked insert expense there, and it did insert a new row for me. Let me just fill this out real quick. Okay. And you can like delete rows. These are the built-in widgets but I believe you can like change these to use picture buttons of your choice instead.
And
And it does
you
support
must be happy with the Qdabra Care package that Qdabra provides, as opposed to Obamacare. You get the extra special medical checkup.
That's not true. This is just dummy data. Don't take it too seriously. Yeah, gotta love Qdabra. Oh yeah. So it does support master detail control here, as you can see. Though it might not be technically master detail, right? Where we just have a couple of conditional formatting here that shows and hides child tables, depending on which row you're clicking at. So you can enter more data in here. It's not entertainment, so I don't want to enter anything there. But yeah, that's the idea. Let's see. I wonder why these are not working. Let me just, okay. So that thing works. There might be some conditional formatting there that's disallowing it to insert, but let's try that again because I want to attach a receipt in here. Okay, because I'm make 90, so Patrick won't say anything. To the Add Image tab, it's the same thing up there, but this thing right here is different. This is one of the custom controls that Formotus provides us. It's a camera capture control. So I can either attach an image here, which I'll do, or click on this icon. It will fire up your webcam. Unfortunately, I'm remoted in and I'm not able to take a picture of a webcam, but I'll show that to you working in my iPhone later. So let's submit this form. So I got this little notification at the bottom. It's probably my screen. I can't see the entire thing. I clicked submit, and now it's trying to launch a mail app or a sharing app of your choice. So I will probably select this, mail, send an email, and I just want to send it to myself right now. As you can see, it's trying to attach the HTML converted file as well as the XML. So let me hit send and let's see what we get after we do that. And we're trying to wait for that mail to come in. But right now you're seeing there are available forms for us. I can show you the contact us form really quick next, but I got a feeling the mail is going to come in anytime soon. Okay, looks like I'm wrong. Let's just show you the contact us form. And since this is Windows 8.1, if you right click anywhere, you get the menu up there. You can say done or create a new one or save. I'm just going to go back and try to reload the form. There we go. All right, so it's the same thing. We got the tabs up here. Some controls down, pre-populated controls. Yeah, what I'm going to do is I will open up my mail manually since I'm not receiving any. And there it is. So let's try to open this HTML file. So as you can see, there is my email view or my view, and it does come in a nice layout, organized layout. So to do this, you're going to want to excuse me, create a separate view that's meant for printing, like in a PDF. You're going to think that this view is going to come in a PDF format, or in this case, an HTML format. So that looks nice to me. Let's exit out of things. And okay, before I move along, I want to ask people real quick. We have this poll thing going on. Let me just go back to my slide. And see if I can figure this out. So, okay, so I opened up a poll in there. I just want to ask people, how much time do you think did it take us to create these forms, the forms that I just showed you, the expense report, the contact us form, and Formotus? Go ahead and vote out. Okay, we're seeing numbers are increasing here, 72% votes. You can see that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So you got 71% voted. So we got a few more seconds here, and then we'll close the polling. Yeah, so we're really asking, how long did it take us to create these simple forms? And looks like the leader of the pack is 2 to 5 hours, and that's great. And I guess Mel, do you want to take it from here?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for your participation there. Let's see, it actually took us less than 2 hours. So people, most of you are right. It's 2 to 5 hours, although it's close to 2 hours. And why is that? Let me toss up Formotus again here. We use this handy little guy, the starter form. Okay, so you're going to see it's the same package, it's the same UI, logo and all that, sections, tabs up here. So we created this starter form so we could save ourselves time in creating further solutions. We can create 1 million forms from here, right? It's not going to take us any more time than the usual building forms from scratch, creating schema, creating the UI, and all that.
The best news.
So that's,
let me interject. The best news here is that this is going to be available to you if you fill out the survey at the end of the. I promise we have a survey today at the end of the webinar. A quick survey, 5 questions. We will provide this in the package, and the nice thing about this form, obviously you want to change the header color and put your logo in there. But the nice thing about it is Formotus ready. So it already works with Formotus and Windows 8.
Right. Okay, do we still have time, Patrick? Can I show my phone?
Yeah, let's go for it. Let's do it.
Let's do that. Okay. So I do this again, and here's my phone. I'm sharing it right here. Minimize stuff at the background. Okay. So I'd like to show you the sample starter form. I've already.
No, there's some lag in
audio. Sample down. So
no, there's some lag in audio, so maybe you should go through that again. Mel, can you hear us? So you can see. Yeah, your audio is weird. It's like the Air Server app is taking out your audio. So anyway, you can see the form here, and I'll just talk over it real quick, Mel, if you want. You can see that it looks really good in the iPhone, and she's using an Air Server app that shows the iPhone display there, and you can see the controls are a little bit different, but the same form, right, published to the iPhone, and this is the starter form, so you'll get this view as well. Mel, can you still hear us?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, that's better. That's better. Why don't you show them the camera control?
Yeah. All right, so I mentioned before that I'm going to try this camera. Taking a picture of the Valentine's Day. Okay. And see it right there. And here's the annotation control and that pencil icon there, and I can. Hopefully, you can still hear me.
Yep.
So, okay.
Sounds like you've got a dog in the background.
So it's the same thing here. So, oh, sorry about that. So, yeah, actually, this one that I called an ink control. About it. And the next, this here is annotation control. You can attach an image and at the same time sign on it. So what I'm going to do here is instead of a picture from my camera.
And you can still see Mel's screen here. I'll just do a quick, I'll do a little bit of voiceover here, Mel, since we're having some audio here with the screen. This is actually the sample form that comes with Formotus, not ours. And you can see here that there's some very, very cool controls that come with this. And it's very useful when you're in the field to be able to take a picture very quickly. And then using your finger, just scribble on it to highlight an area. And that's really what Mel's showing here. She's also now showing the GPS control. So these are the major benefits of Formotus, and you won't find these benefits in any other forms package today. Very, very powerful, and because we have these starter forms, it's very easy for you to quickly create these forms. And because of the support for Windows 8, now we have a very viable conversion capability here for your InfoPath forms. You can run them in Windows 8 on the Surface or on your phones. And great demo, Mel. And let's see, Mel, let's switch back to the slides then, just to see if we can get your audio back.
Okay, let me.
And Tom, to your question here, we'll answer your question in a second. Thanks for posting. If other people have questions, please do post them, and we'll take them in order here in a minute or two. We're almost done with the slide deck and the presentation. I think we have one more quick demo of the paging control, right, Mel?
Yeah, right. So that's our next slide here. Hopefully you can hear me okay now.
Yep.
I closed my AR server app. Yeah, so we're showing you the paging XTP, and if you fill out that survey like Patrick said, you're going to get this for free. So that's just a simple, just a screenshot of a simple form with the paging XTP in it. So I will show that next. Show you the actual form working right here. And the benefit of the paging XTP is, aside from it being an XTP, right, is it reduces the size of your view. You know, if you have a lot of rows or data in your repeating group, you have a lot of repeating data, you can narrow them down to like 5 pages or 20 pages at a time, and this improves form performance because the view would render, you know, the form wouldn't exert that much effort trying to render the view with a lot of controls. And I've talked about this in the past, like the best practices in designing InfoPath forms.
For those of you who aren't aware, the XML template part, XTP, is something that you can use to quickly add common sections to your form without having to redo the effort. And so what we do is you can install this XTP, and then you can just add it from the custom controls section at the top of your InfoPath Designer. And then you can customize it to work with your data. So here we have some very simple sample data, but this same concept works with any sample data. Anytime you've got a repeating table or a section, this kind of paging is just hugely helpful for reducing the amount of data that you're showing on the screen, which is the main goal here is to increase the performance of your browser. With the browser, unlike the filler, once you get beyond about 20 or 30 rows or areas in your section, repeating section, it may start to lag, and that's why we include this control, is to help speed that up.
Yeah, thanks, Patrick. Yeah, I guess we can move on to questions now.
Okay, great. So if you've got questions, please use the question control, and we'll be wrapping up shortly here. So first question from Tom, and is there a migration utility from existing InfoPath XSNs? And this is a great question because the beauty of Formotus is that it uses your InfoPath forms as is. So there's very little migration. In fact, what you do is you take your XSN, you just go up to the Formotus account and you upload the XSN as it is today, and then you convert it, and it will tell you what you need to change to make it mobile ready. Sometimes you don't have to change anything. It just works out of the box. But other times you might have to make a few adjustments by changing some controls. So the good news there, Tom, is that there's very little migration for most forms, and you just take your XSN, the InfoPath templates that you have today, and you just upload them to the Formotus website and you convert them, and then they get drizzled down. They get not drizzled down. They get broadcasted down to all the devices that are registered. So great question there. And I'll take the. Let's see. Yvonne's got a question. Actually, it's a comment. Thank you, Yvonne, for that comment. Looks like that worked for you, this webinar. Justin's got a question. So does Formotus only allow use of forms built in InfoPath, or is there form building as part of Formotus as well? Well, that's a great question. Mel, I was going to hand that to you, but this seems like more of a future question. So maybe I'll take this one and you can handle the next one. So this question, Justin, is a great one, a very timely question. Right now, InfoPath Designer can be used to create forms for Formotus. They're the same forms that you know and love in InfoPath today. And I think that down the road, say 4 to 5 years, maybe 10 years, at some point the InfoPath Designer may be available for free. There's talk, we've heard rumors that Microsoft may be making it available for free on their website. But even if that's not the case, there are several companies in this area that are dedicated to bringing you electronic forms, and that means there will be designers available even after the 10-year support cycle of InfoPath Designer. But for now, that's the designer that you would choose. So great question, Justin. And let's see, Mel, do you want to take this second question from Tom?
Sure. Yep. Tom has another question. How is workflow handled? SharePoint. I did read that Formotus provide support, or they support SharePoint submit together with email. So as long as the form can submit to SharePoint, you can configure workflows in SharePoint, right? So that's it.
Yeah, and like Mel said, the forms will pull data from SharePoint, and you can submit data to SharePoint. So there's a lot of functionality there, and they will work with web services. We have several customers that use Formotus to submit to DBXL, so that's an option for you. The Windows 8 is beta. It's going to be announced at the SharePoint conference, and so we obviously don't have support for full parity with the iPad and the Android yet, but we would expect that in the next month or so. So True's got a good question here. Is the Formotus solution cloud-based only? Well, the beauty of the Formotus solution is that you're not actually storing anything on their servers. You're just basically using their server to broadcast down the forms. So when your devices log in, they will pull down the apps inside of your Formotus app, your viewer. So there's nothing really stored in the cloud except you push the templates up to the cloud, and then the Formotus cloud just sends them down to the local devices. But your data is stored on your SharePoint site, so there's no data stored on the Formotus server. They're completely independent. They just use that service to, like I said, have the forms get sent down to the devices, and so you can use their UI to manage the devices, which is very useful. But there's no data stored on their servers. It's just the templates themselves. So that's a great question, and you can, of course, submit all the data to your servers. In fact, that's what all of the customers will do, is they'll submit to their SharePoint site or to their database using a web service. Justin has another question here. The estimated per form cost, is that time, or is there a direct cost associated to allow your forms to be usable? There's no direct cost. It's just time. So that's a great question. Just convert it, and then once you get through your trial, so you can when you sign up for Formotus, make sure that underneath the partner field you put Qdabra, and then they'll contact us and let us know that you have signed up and that we're here to help you. They'll let you know that we're available. So that's when you sign up for Formotus. There's a special field that says partner, and you put in Qdabra, just QDABRA, 6 characters, and then of course that'll get round to us. And then after your trial's done, 30-day trial is free. Sometimes we can extend that, but after your trial is over, then you need to start choosing a plan, and we'll help you with that. But like I said, depending on how many users you have, the pricing is anywhere from about $25, $30 a user per month, and that's with discounts up to the normal. I think the you just have one user, I think it's $45 a user per month. But if you've got more than that, then it tends to go down. And the way to think about this pricing is the cost of the app, right? The cost of the app is cheap, because if you divide the cost of the service by the cost of develop the apps and to distribute them, it's much less costly to develop apps for your mobile platform using Formotus and InfoPath than if you were to hire one of these app dev outfits that would create your iPhone apps. And the beauty is it works on all of your devices. So there's that wonderful scale there. There's also the beauty that you can have any number of forms, and so you're going to have a cost savings in the end, and that's why we recommend this option. So great question there, Justin. So I think we'll close it out. This was meant to be a short webinar, and I want to thank Mel Balsamo for wonderful demos and presentation today. Thank you, Mel. We want to switch to that.
My pleasure.
So we do have upcoming webinars on these topics. So we're going to be at the SharePoint conference. Don't forget, we'll be at the Formotus booth actually, but we'll be walking around. Bree and I will be there, and we look forward to seeing you at the SharePoint conference if you're going to be there. We also have next week our second part in the SharePoint conversion. So if you want to convert your forms to use SharePoint lists, we'll talk more about that next week. We'll talk about parent-child, and we'll show you some examples of how to do that using our Convert SharePoint List tool. It'll be a light webinar next week, and then of course we have the conference. So we won't be doing a webinar the week of the conference, but we will be back the following week to talk about Access. We expect there to be a big announcement at the conference with Access and Microsoft, talking about the future of forms. So we'll be talking about Access the week after, and then throughout the next month, actually through April, we're going to be presenting options for you to look at, to assess. And we're really here to help you assess, and Mel, can you switch to the next slide? We're here to help you assess your current solution and help you to either extend that, maintain it, or migrate it to one of these technologies. And really the timeline isn't today. The timeline to start thinking about it is this year and next year, and then you would be looking at migrating in the future. Of course, these options you can migrate to, like Formotus, are available today. And I think that for many of you, it's an extension to your current InfoPath forms because it allows you to fill out your forms on these rich clients. And we think it's great. Definitely a huge improvement over the browser functionality in the client. Anyway, I want to thank everyone for joining us today. If you've got any questions, we have this new website, formsquo.com. Feel free to go up there. The website will be changed in the next week or two. We're going to update it significantly with new content, new videos. But we look forward to having you back next week, and I want to